Hello there. Congratulations on your interest and involvement in Beyond's Walk the Talk national campaign to address social isolation. I'm a big fan of their vision and their values, and I'm delighted to speak with you via this video. Hello there. Congratulations on your interest and involvement in Beyond's Walk the Talk national campaign to address social isolation. I'm a big fan of their vision and their values, and I'm delighted to speak with you via this video. Too many people in our society are dying of broken hearts. Unlike other interventions, the cure for mending broken hearts isn't medical or pharmacological or scientific. Neither is it legislative or financial or technological. It's relational. 35 years ago, a group of us came together in Vancouver to answer the question, what happens to our disabled sons and daughters when we die? We didn't realize it at the time, but we were surfing the front end of a worldwide demographic tsunami. It's the first time in history that a generation of disabled people are outliving their parents. We call their group PLAN, Planned Lifetime Advocacy Network. In order to answer the question, what happens when we die, we had to unlearn an awful lot about what we thought we knew about disability. We learned instead, for example, that two of the biggest handicaps experienced by disabled people are their exclusion and their poverty, and that if we address those two, disabled people would be better able to direct their own lives and make the kind of contributions that I describe in my new book, The Power of Disability, 10 Lessons for Surviving, Thriving, and Changing the World. After all, disabled people are authoritative sources on creativity and resilience, love, resistance, dealing with adversity, and interdependence. That's expertise and experience the world needs right now. The phrase we used at PLAN to describe this new approach to disability was a good life. As in, what's your idea of a good life? Not what kind of program or service do you need? And that led to our second lesson. And that is that the job of services and programs and professional interventions is to supplement, not supplant, a good life. PLAN's approach is to organize a personal network based on the unique passions and interests of each person. We go all the way around the professional disability service system, and instead we approach ordinary, everyday neighbors, families, and community members. The response is nearly always positive. We find people willing to do what comes naturally, befriending, helping out, pitching in, caring. Not because they're paid, but because they're friends. Describing them as volunteers doesn't really do them justice. Over the years, the PLAN model has spread to more than 40 locations around the world, as has the recognition that social isolation is not just a disability challenge or a seniors challenge, but one that affects people from every walk of life and in every nook and cranny. The pandemic has revealed what many of us already know. We are a nation of caring people. Early in the pandemic, the phrase caremonger entered the vernacular. It's a phrase that could only have been invented in Canada. And it was a way of describing the hundreds of thousands of ordinary folks who were taking care of each other. Through small deeds, these artisans of the common good expressed concretely their love for their community, without speeches, without publicity, without reward. They weren't confined by job descriptions or office hours, and they took care not just of people they knew, but people they didn't know. They cobbled together solutions with whatever was close at hand. Do you remember how ordinary Canadians solved the mask shortage by making the masks themselves? They did it because people they cared about were suffering, vulnerable, or in danger, and they had no choice but to act. They're proof that when caring meets adversity, innovation is the result. Without these caring people, the world could not operate, especially during this period of heightened vigilance and stress. Dear people, we shouldn't ever part with anything that makes us human. Too much of the conversation about our societal challenges is wrapped in the language of finance and politics. While these are important considerations, they're limited in describing the caring world we want and in attracting the broader support we'll need to get there. So I propose a different language. No surprise, it's the language of caring. The challenge of our time is not lack of knowledge, data, money, or well-written arguments. It's lack of caring in the public arena. The necessity to do something is pretty clear. We have more than enough reports and projections about what is wrong, what is horrible, what's not working. We now need to envelop our challenges and each other with love and care. One of the people I profile in my book, The Power of Disability, is Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama. She's one of the most popular artists in the world based on attendance and sales figures. I invite you to look her up. She is known as the Princess of Polka Dots because she paints polka dots on everything. She says it's her response to the hallucinations and waves of nothingness that threaten to dissolve her. Kusama says polka dots are like people. They can't stay alone. It's in their nature to come together and to find their place in the universe. So let's pick up the pieces of our broken hearts and make a shrine to our shared vulnerability. Let's fall in love with our challenges, their mystery, their brokenness, their contradictions, and yes, their failures. Let us rally the lovesick, the brokenhearted, the downhearted, and connect them to the open-hearted and the brave-hearted. All around this country, people are remembering what they already know. We get through this life together. So here's to us. Cheers.